Hello, and welcome to For Better Love's Masterclass this month on time management for couples. I'm Gabby Sundra, your love coach, the love trifecta coach, creating more play, peace, and passion in love and life. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Whether you're here live or watching the recording, I appreciate your time and want to get right to it. So let me share my screen. Okay, time management for couples. Now, this is both the masterclass and the playbook. So if you are here watching it live, you'll get the playbook as your gift. We'll get to actually all of that in just a moment. But I just wanted to remind you that what you're doing here today, why you're here, is to align your calendars and balance your priorities, because time management isn't just about all the time. It's actually about what do you do with that time, and then how do you navigate it when those are a different perception, a different perspective, a different desire, and how can you get more of what you both want. So that's what we do here at For Better Love. It's not about loving perfectly. It's about loving better. It's about really looking at, well, what are those adversarial dynamics, and really not focusing your energy there, but instead really looking at how can you be more aligned, empowered, and having an empowering, forward-focused, playful approach. My husband and I created a purpose, a shared purpose years ago. Our lives and love lifts us and others up by bringing play to accountability. So what does that mean? Well, we help couples take something that's a complaint, something that's bothering them, I call them a friction factor, and then turn that into a goal, a declaration, a dream, and then take those dreams, and that might seem big and out of reach, and break them down smaller and make them more accessible and create more partnership and handle the stuff that gets in the way until it becomes more and more of a reality. Right? Every 90 days, a little bit more, and creating your goals for having more play, peace, and passion in love and life. Call that the love trifecta, right? Play, peace, and passion. So it's not about loving perfectly, it's about loving better. You'll hear me say that a lot. Now, as I mentioned earlier, kudos, you are here now, and I see you, I've got you, and we've got this. Yes, it is difficult. There are ups and downs. I've been with my husband almost 20 years now. We're like 4 months shy of 20 years, and we had a conflict this morning. It happens. So what do you do? What are the tools? And how do you avoid conflicts in advance, such as time management? All right, I skipped over that. I just wanted to mention to you, let me backtrack there, if there's other places you want to see For Better Love, some of the talks we've done, blogs we've written, you can find us in all of those places as well. All right, if you are here live, then the playbook is our gift to you. And of course, you get question Q&A at the end. Please put your comments in the chat as we go along. If you're here watching the replay, excellent. I'm sorry we missed you live. Maybe you can come to the next one live. I think the topic we're doing for the next one, it's not the AI and intimacy. Oh, couple goals is coming up next after time management, and then intimacy and AI. So you can buy that time management for couples playbook. Usually it's $33, but for you right now, it's discounted to $11. And if you're here live, it's yours free. All right, so let's get started. I want to give you an overview on how to balance your calendars, how to align your calendars and balance your priorities. So I really like quotes. They make things more memorable and set the tone. So let's begin with the end in mind. A little quote from Stephen Covey, right? So we're going to look through today and start with what are the core challenges, just like what are the top 3 challenges. We're going to look at what are the challenge 1 limitations, challenge 2 priorities, challenge 3 just the communication. Oh my gosh, if you can master communication, you can handle most anything in a marriage, right? It's all about the habits, not just the one-time ideas, but the habits. So I'll cover some habits for you to choose from. And of course, pick your prompts to make sure that you don't work hard, but you work smart, and that you post your prompts. I'm going to give you a lot of different ways on how to take what you create here tonight and make it easy to keep it alive and in action and even fun. All right, some outcomes for after completing this playbook. You will, first of all, understand what are the 3 most common challenges are, and then what are the, specifically for you, oops, looking for yourself to take ownership, or what are your top 3 hurdles in each of those areas. After you've done that, you're going to look at what are your hopes, right? You know what the hurdles are, but what about the hopes? So explore your hopes, make some declarations, not tell each other what to do, but this is what I'm going to do, and create some new healthy habits. And then pick those prompts, as I mentioned, to keep those alive. Lastly, I want you to consider, what are your next steps, whether it's with me or on your own or with a friend or a buddy and another couple, whatever works for you. But you want to make some declarations on what now. You have your ahas and your insights. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to bring it into your life in a real and lasting way? All right, so for you, in setting your outcomes, I'd like you to personalize this now. A little quote here, I don't know who said this, but setting outcomes is the secret ingredient that transforms ordinary endeavors into extraordinary accomplishments. Now, if you have the playbook already, you're watching the replay on this, great, or you purchased the masterclass, great. If you're here live, you'll have this sent to you tomorrow, so you can go back through and put in your answers there. Feel free to jot some down now, but when you come live with the playbook, you get a copy for free. All right, let's look at a few reminders about how to keep some things in mind about these healthy habits. Remember that it's not you, right? This isn't you. This is a challenging hurdle, the path forward, calling you into something new, right? Go at your own pace and take the pleasure path. If something doesn't resonate, don't worry about it. Focus on a different portion of this. Pull it apart, use the pieces, go ahead and just make it your own. Use what resonates, right? This is for you. If it's not, you're like, not really inspired by that. Great, no problem. And when it comes to your partner, to your beloved, inspire them, but do not pressure them. You are different people and different things interest you. And if this isn't there on their to-do list, it's okay. I promise you that you can make changes when you make changes. You'll see changes in your relationship. Now, of course, all of this is great fun information, but I want to remind you, and I will remind you repeatedly in the personalize it sections, to put all of this into action, right? So give it some time, and because it's not just going to happen overnight. It can. Transformation can happen like in a light switch, right? And it can be a consistent effort over time. Put the two together, now you're really getting somewhere. All right, core challenge number 1, right? Let's look at this core challenge. Actually, before I give you core challenge 1, we're going to look at all 3 of them. So when you're looking at these challenges, right, you're looking to build a workable and even an enjoyable schedule, right? This is going to take some effort, some intention, some time, but the payoff is really great, right? The rewards is you get a thriving relationship and your day goes a lot more smoothly, which I think that's worth a lot. What do you think? Now, each relationship is going to be unique. You have your own dynamic. So when it comes to time management, there are some core challenges. Again, take what resonates for you and get rid of the rest. But I'm going to give you some common couple challenges in this realm and see what looks most familiar for you. Do you recognize yourself in any of these, right? So I'm going to encourage you to look at both the how, the when, and the where of these 3 core challenges. So if you do that, you're not only going to resolve the conflicts about your time, but you're going to keep building that partnership. All right, so let's look and see not just what these challenges are, but what you can't change your beloved, but what you can do about it. All right, so limitations, there's not enough time. Priorities, this is more important than that. And finally, communication. Why didn't you tell me? Things falling through the cracks, just not getting said. For yourself, write down right now what you think those top hurdles might be and those top hopes might be for time management for yourself, right? We'll look at those common conflicts, but again, look for yourself. All right, let's look at these challenges. All right, the first one is this limitation. So either you run the day or the day runs you. There's not enough time. So if you're feeling stretched, you are not alone. More than ever, people are spinning and running and going as fast as they can. So enough to deal with your own feelings and needs and upsets and, just all the ups and downs of life. And then you put another person in it. And if you have a family and you have kids, it's even that much more difficult to manage all of this. So it's not you. Don't have this be a competition, right? There are constraints, there are demands for your time, there are all sorts of directions that you're getting pulled left, right, and center. It's not your fault that this is so difficult. These are the limitations, right? So I'm going to give you some limitations, some specific limitations, and I want you to pick what are your top 3 hurdles and hopes about those limitations, right? So let's start with your work schedules. Maybe you have demanding jobs that are on different work schedules, or the problem is the work schedules are the same and you have kids to watch, and that can be a problem. Maybe your social calendars, right? I know I like to social, and my husband loves people, but he needs a lot more downtime and alone time. Overlapping commitments. It doesn't have to be a job, but you want to do one thing, he wants to do another thing, and those things are happening at the same time. And you have also commitments that are competing, that time is finite, right? And so maybe you're both competing for the same time. Maybe that last 30-minute snooze to have someone get up with the kids or whatever it might be. All right, perhaps one of your biggest hurdles, again, you're looking for yourself, not your partner. What's your biggest hurdles? Maybe you have schedules in your relationship. It's not just the two of you, but you have kids or things like that, but you don't have a system for aligning your calendars. Make sure that you can align your calendars. Shared calendars are a great tool. So maybe you're missing things or having double bookings or things like that because your calendars aren't actually shared, or you're not sharing them efficiently. Finances can be a big hurdle when it comes to time management as well. Either you have to work more, or you feel like you have to work all the time, so you don't have time to enjoy yourself and have downtime, and you really start to get burdened with financial pressure, which leads to also the emotional exhaustion. Maybe you just don't have any motivation or energy to invest your time and effort into the relationship. And of course, technology distractions is a huge issue in today's day and age. Raj and I try to, at least in the season of passion, every 90 days, go that period of time without having any technology in the bedroom, right? It really can distract us, and you have to be on top of that. We're going to talk about how to do that in a few moments. Okay, so looking at these 8 limitations, which one trips you up the most? Which one is difficult for you? Again, you can pick up to 3, but what is your biggest hurdle in this realm? All right, personalize it, write that down, and let's go on and move into the next section. Section 3 is going to be on challenge number 2, which is about prioritization. Oh yes, this reminder that just popped up. Remember, your partner, your beloved is going to do what they're going to do, and you're going to do what you're going to do. There's a great book out right now called Let Them, which also I love the let me distinction, but it's something to check out. So have them do what they're going to do, and you do what you're going to do. You can inspire them, but don't pressure them. All right, priorities. Another quote here: time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. Love that. All right, so this challenge is about this is more important than that. So maybe you have some priorities or interests or just things that are conflicting for the two of you that you have to figure out, right? Maybe that leads you to clashing. You have different expectations. I know I had one couple when the husband was describing how much time he wanted to spend with his extended family, and she said, "That's outrageous," right? So maybe the expectations about how you're going to spend your time, what is downtime, are you going to spend it with family, are you going to spend it with friends, are you going to spend it together, are you going to spend it alone? Downtime can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, right? So that can really throw in a monkey wrench to not just your day, but your dynamic as a couple. So here are 10 priorities or challenges that I want you to look and capture your personal top 3, not your beloved's, but your top 3, right? Now, this is in your relationship, of course, but don't imagine what your beloved would think are your top 3 issues. Just pick what you think are your top 3 issues. All right. Do you have different values, visions, and goals in life? Now, if you don't have a vision, that's the core of what we do at For Better Love, is help couples create an intentional vision. We call it the marriage map. You don't have to be married to do it, but most of the couples we work with are. And how to take that vision and then bring it to life, right? With the 90-day game, with the couple goals, but that's next month's masterclass. So do you have a vision, and is it specific, and are they conflicting or are they aligned? Opposites do attract, but more and more research is coming out showing that the happier marriages are those people that can find that alignment. How about your expectations about the frequency, how much time you need? I know when my husband and I sat down to write our vision, he said his ideal was that 3 days a month, once a month, I would leave for 3 days so he could be home alone without me. And I was like, you want to be without me? And he said, no, I want to be with me. So different needs, different strokes for different folks, right? Okay, maybe you aren't really establishing boundaries between your work and your personal time, and that creeps in, and that's been difficult for you. Maybe it's you're out of balance, right? Things are imbalanced, and there could be some resentment that builds up when things are imbalanced. Maybe one person's putting in more effort or energy. Often it's because you just don't realize what the other person is doing, right? We all could feel a lot more appreciated, so spread those gratitudes around. Maybe one of you just wants more time together than the other person. You know, I know a lot of only children felt like just had so much energy coming at them. They felt like engulfed, and they really tend to need a lot more alone time. And it might be that somebody who went through some abandonment issues might need a lot of reassurance and want to spend a lot of time together. Identifying your love languages can be really a helpful way of doing that. Okay, so looking at this one, is the routines that you have or your desires, are any of those leading to some feeling of scarcity about how much time you have together? Could be the time of day. I'm a night owl. My husband's a morning person. Maybe that's a factor with your priorities and how you're spending your time. Maybe it's about what you think you should do with your solo time, right? Do you have any trouble finding time for you and spontaneity in your calendar, in your relationship? And whoop, went too fast. Go backwards. Your rigid routines, any unwillingness to adjust your schedules. Maybe you feel stuck, or things are structured or predictable, depending on which side of the coin you are with that one. Are you experiencing any conflict of around interests or preferences for what you do with your downtime, the little downtime that you do have? And do you have little or no time for, notice the mistake there with 4, individuals or shared hobbies or interests? Do you feel resentful or guilty about the time that you are spending on your hobbies? It's really important. In fact, we travel a lot and we bring his bike with us because wherever he goes, his mental health is definitely tied to his bicycle and those rides. Okay, so here's your chance to look at all 10 of these. Take a look. Which one of these 10 priority challenges trips you up the most? Pick your top 1, pick your top 3. Don't pick more than 3. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, but try and pick your top 3. All right, moving on here. Again, the reminder, resist your temptation to focus on your beloved, focus on yourself. Okay, third and final challenge. We're zooming through this tonight. We'll have lots of time for Q&A at the end. The challenge 3 is communication. Why didn't you tell me? So the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it is. Speaking of experiencing, I'm hoping we're not having an internet issue. I just got Starlink, but we'll see if that's working well. Okay, so why didn't you tell me? Multiple people and having lots of schedules and different desires and different needs, and then you add in poor communication, you're going to have a recipe for disaster. So if you don't clearly and regularly communicate, you're going to have misunderstandings, you're going to have missed opportunities, you're going to have conflicting commitments, and there's going to be tension, which is totally unavoidable and unnecessary. So take a look at these 5 challenges, and this time pick your top hurdles and hopes for these top 3. Okay, so do you struggle with aligning your various schedules? Is this the biggest one? Maybe it's just the alignment is a problem. Maybe there's different approaches to time management. One of you is more of a planner and likes routines, and the other likes things a little more loose and spontaneous. Maybe it is that one of you isn't sharing your needs, or both of you aren't sharing your needs. I know that I'm much more likely to speak up, and my husband is much more likely to say it's not a big deal until it is a big deal. So if you're in either one of those places, just take note and accommodate or invite the different dynamic of your beloved so that you are more in sync. Okay, maybe your hurdle in your challenge is your inability to delegate. You feel like you have to do everything yourself, or if it's not done exactly the way you want it, then that's problematic. And then finally, any unresolved conflicts. Is that one of your biggest challenges? So if you have those unresolved conflicts and then you don't even want to spend time together, so that makes things pretty crunchy. So for these 5 communication challenges, what trips you up the most? Put it in your playbook, write it down in your notepad, wherever you are doing this, but personalize it, personalize it, personalize it. And again, resist the temptation to focus on what your beloved is struggling with. Now, notice you put what you're struggling with on the left-hand side of the page, and then your hope about it on the right-hand side of the page. Now, I'd like to offer you, okay, what do we do about these hurdles? Great, you know what your hurdles are, but what do we do? So before we dive in, I want to remind you that you are not aiming for perfection. You are aiming for progress. So don't be too hard on yourself or your beloved, right? I've got some good news and some bad news for you. The bad news first, right? Difficult. You are human. And these hurdles are not going away, right? This is just normal and a part of life. You can get better and better. So the good news is that this is common, that you can turn these into habits, and that you do have choices that you can make, right, to lead you into a better way of handling these things, right? It really is. And most everything we do in For Better Love is about habits, habits, and habits. Now, I don't want to push anything on you. I want you to look for what you're inspired to do. So where are you ready to take action to do better and to love better? So look at what you commit to doing, not just what you're wishing to be true, but what you're actually committing to doing. And I don't want you to bite off something bigger than you can chew or get overwhelmed and stop doing it. So take something small and easy, little low-hanging fruit, and practice with that first. Okay, so I have a delightful dozen healthy habits. I want you to pick your favorite 3, right? Your top 3 here. All right, first of all is identifying and sharing your individual priorities, right? Create and use a shared vision for decision making. How does that happen? Is that something that would make a difference in your marriage? Do you have a way to connect with each other and really first understand your priorities? Do you have a way that you have aligned your priorities and created a vision? If not, let me know. Or you can use our DIY. We have a masterclass, the For Better Love marriage map for that. Also, outlining, right? Drafting a flexible plan, right? Outlining your plan, include some contingency plans, right? What are you going to do about the ABCs, right? Of when things fall off the rails. Seek synergy. You can take your organizational styles and find what's the chocolate and peanut butter. It might seem like oil and water, but what's the chocolate and peanut butter? And make sure that you're giving as much compassion and understanding and appreciate each other's different organizational styles, because they are probably different. Now, having some clear routines and designating specific times, even if it's not your personality type, is incredibly helpful and necessary, because even if it's one person's personality type, you want to make sure that you are aligning. There's 2 people, so you have to make sure that those calendars are at least connecting and syncing up where they can, right? And a good way to do that is to have a weekly routine where you can check in about your calendars as well. Now, another healthy habit is to delegate tasks. You don't have to do everything on your own. Is there something that you could distribute or alleviate a burden or something like that? Use technology to alleviate that burden, right? And give your schedule, right? And start coordinating your plans, sharing your calendars, your boards, dashboards, all sorts of possibilities, even Post-it notes that you can put on the refrigerator or things like that. Maybe look at your work schedules. Either get them so that you work at the same time if you don't have kids, so you can have time off at the same time, or to get your schedules in sync if you need to address childcare and all of that. Overcommitment, even if it's just one person, and saying yes and yes and yes, can be a real issue and a real hurdle. So do make sure, if that's you, that you take a look at that habit and lean into managing that, so that it's okay to say no to invitations, and people will trust your yes that much more. Last few here, self-care. Make sure, right, you have some self-care. I know it can be difficult, especially if you do have kids, but you are going to need to recharge. It's just, you're human. Be flexible and engaged. The schedules need to adapt. You might have a schedule and something might need to change, right? We just had a death in our family, and we ended up not just dealing with the grief and all of that, but we were hosting the memorial for 110 people. So you can imagine schedules get thrown off for things like that, and you just have to be flexible because that's just how life is, right? All right, last two here is respecting boundaries and each other's time. So just before you're making any new commitments, check in with each other and give a consultation. Make sure finally that you are supporting each other and communicating with each other and just encouraging both of you. Your opinions, your experiences, your needs are both valid. So just keep encouraging that communication so that you can do better and better and better. Okay, so this is a brief overview, right? We're just giving a quick brief overview. So these are the 12 different healthy habits to choose from. Pick 3. What are the 3 that are most important for you? And you can even rank them and put them in order. Again, that alert, resist the temptation to focus on your beloved. The last section here, pick your prompts. So you will never find time for anything. You must make it. We must make the time. Your brain is designed to forget. Within 24 hours, you're going to have forgotten. I mean, you just go from the kitchen into the bedroom and you forgot what you embrace this idea that you need to take action to keep this alive. So you are each a genius in your own ways. So again, pick the prompts that work best for you and let your beloved pick the prompts that work best for them. All right, I'm going to talk to you now about how to choose your prompts and what to choose prompts for and where to put those prompts, right? Because you've got lots of options. All right, what to set prompts for, right? So maybe you heard some core messages that came from this playbook or this masterclass. Maybe there was a quote you want to be reminded of, or I hope those top 3 things that you declared, or any different insights, anything you want that was important here. Let's write it down and hold on to it. All right, where to put these prompts, right? I like to do it where I'm going to see it all the time, right? So the fridge, the bathroom mirror, or car dashboard, really nice for around the house, or you can do them electronically on your computer or your phone, or reminders, or public declarations, really powerful to another couple or another group or some social media post if you want to really be bold and make a public declaration. Now, I've got my own prompts. These are some of the quotes in some of the graphics, and I've also made these for the phone. So if you get your playbook, you should have those sent to you. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the playbook that takes you to those. But I want to thank you for being here today and for leaning into creating better time management for yourself and your beloved. And this is about creating more play, peace, and passion in love and life. I have a few next steps for you. So first, write down what and where you're going to put those prompts, and be sure you read them out loud, say them, really engage with them as you see them. Okay, some next steps. Time is not just spent, but invested, for in the investment of time, love thrives and memories blossom. So what are you going to do with time? So in regards to the time management, you can just do the masterclass and playbook on your own, the DIY, or maybe there is some assisted support, and maybe you've been arguing about arguing about time, and some personalized coaching would be helpful. Right? We can do a single session for that. Now, I'm just going to take 1 second to let you know, well, I should say 2 minutes, to let you know about the coaching options with For Better Love. If you're struggling, these are our 3 core programs: a single session for venting, a single session for reviewing a particular recent or repeat argument, or 4 sessions for making sure that you each have a chance to feel heard, seen, validated, and empathized about an issue, and come up with options you can both agree to on how to move on. Now, the core work that we do, right, at For Better Love is actually helping you stretch, right, to go from that good to great, from that awesome to epic. And that's the VAVA vows visioning. If you're getting married, to write some wedding vows, your shared relationship vision, your marriage mantra I've mentioned before tonight, and the 90-day game I've mentioned tonight to bring it to life. That's the core focus. But if you know you're interested in some personalized coaching, but you're not sure what fits best for you, you can go ahead and reach out for one of these consult calls. I will say I'm quite full at the moment. I'm a hair shy away from a waiting list, but do reach out and see what we can work out. And also, please check out, you can continue to see our reminders. We have a new theme every month, a new masterclass every month. So take a look and find us on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. And spread the love. We need more love in the world. So thanks for being here and creating more play, peace, and passion in love and life. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording and take the Q&A now. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next month.